All right, my friends. So we've had a kind of a stressful day. I'm sure people that are following shorts, this type of thing will happen occasionally, guys. It's very difficult to the level of energy necessary to predict that this detail is so difficult to remain like to keep that at all times. You know what I mean? It's like a lifestyle choices, habits, people you hang out with, things that you do, places that you go, all that stuff matters. So at times there's little dips in my accuracy, and this happens to be one. But the best thing to do, knowing that I'm right most of the time, is just course correct. The hardest part about being wrong is doing the right thing when you know that you're wrong, right? Which in a case like that would be to close a position. But I don't think we're there yet. I really do feel like we're topping off right around here. There's a lot of stuff saying here on the 8th, the end of the day with this. So what I found in the last, I'd say the last few months, what I've really started to notice, these nullified cards are kind of changing. Where you see a nullified card like this, if you find it in like an important place in the following day, it's generally kind of like telling you, giving you information like the following day is going to be the high. So what's going on here with this, and then you're kind of like switching, right? If you go to the 11th, we've got the full card in high position, and here at the end of the day, you come here to the 8th, you've got the Knight of Discs in the high correlated position, and the Knight of Discs here early in the day, right? So there's something saying we've got like a high here around this weekend. It's either that we move significantly to the upside over the weekend, which I don't think is the case, and that would put us at a higher high. More likely what's happening is we're going to have a drop over the weekend, but it's risky to just be short. And the reason for that is because based on the strength card here, which is a cross reading congruency, and these purple correlations to the lust card, there's a strong possibility that we'll open lower in the pre-market, but there'll be a big move either it could be starting in the pre-market, a big move higher to a high at the open, or it couldn't be that we're starting at the open and moving like a big move higher into a high. So it's risky to just be short in that case because you might not have the opportunity to close out. Again, I probably should have just got into a straddle and stayed that way to begin with because like experientially, like looking at the retrogrades, generally speaking, that's what you need to do. Even if you're really certain about direction, that's the thing about retrograde is like it'll flip. So when you go into the post market, there's really no Mercury retrograde guidance. It's really best to be in the straddle. We got into the long leg, obviously, quite on the late side. I think we're probably really close to the top. But if you've been following the strategy, then your expiration on those short positions is out. I have out for like the 29th and the 22nd. It wasn't like we were looking to do this overnight. We're looking to ride like a multi-day kind of decline. So depending on what happens tomorrow, I should say on Monday, if we see a higher price level or not, which I think is probably really unlikely to see a higher price level on Monday. If we do, then I would say the high is probably still ahead of us, but I really don't think we see a higher price level on I think we probably see the same price level or close. Right, so on Monday, if we're in this territory, open short positions. If you're already in short positions, don't go past your risk tolerance. It's really important. So some ways that you can handle that is if you haven't cost averaged down, you could cost average down, but it's important to understand that it's very, very unlikely that out of the money puts are going to end up in the money, right? So when you cost average down on out of the money puts, you're waiting for the next big move in your favor, and then you lighten up. That's how you get out of your, if you're like near risk tolerance, or you want to minimize like a loss, because we are going to turn around for one thing as well, guys. We're at this 600 level, which anybody who's been watching the market long enough knows that there's a psychological barrier at these 000 points. Hey, Brenda. Brenda Dominatrix. Cool. So, great work. Thank you. What are you talking about specifically? And if you're new to the channel, guys, we're going to go over SPY. Well, we're going over SPY. We're going to go over Bitcoin as well. I'm going to take a look at Tesla because it looks like we blew through my higher target there. So we're going to reassess. A lot of the December readings are at the point of the phase where I've done the markup and I can see clearly what I'm going to record. So we'll talk about Amazon as well. I'm pretty sure the high of the year for Amazon is in November, to be clear, not December. Hey, Rad. And then this also, guys, this is very encouraging. The unicursal at the beginning of the day here. If you're new to the channel, then you probably haven't heard me talk much about unicursal. Unicursal is a price level marker, right? It does two things. It either marks a pivot point where you're going to have a sharp decline off of a peak, usually like a corrective kind of decline, depending on the scale of the chart. But if it doesn't do that, if it doesn't pivot to the downside and it just continues to go higher, what it is, it's kind of like a marking off of an important technical price level that in the next corrective decline, we should decline down through that price level. So in the case of this, we should decline in the next corrective decline. We should decline past this 596 minimum. You see here, here's another example. We had a unicursal that we marked off. We went higher for a little bit. Right? What did we do? We kind of danced around this unicursal price level, right? This was like, and then we broke back down through it. Shortly thereafter, kind of like a correction. Not like a full on, not like a market correction, but a corrective, move to the downside. That's what we can expect at some point. Now, is it going to go through this gap here? Oh man, that would be so awesome. I'm not too sure about that though. Hey, Dontrell. I'm also going to go over, we had a couple questions. I'm going to go over Ethereum, and I'm going to talk about the crypto, when the next main crypto pullback will be. But before I do that, let's take a look at OKLO. Day by day for next week. What's the overall trend direction for OKLO throughout next week? To the downside through through one key technical price level to meet another support and then rotate sideways along that. And that looks like it's adding up when we look at the RSI here. That does look like a realistic kind of thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Ooh, Thursday. Whoa. Okay, so we either have price swings on Monday, either that or it's going to be a notable reversal. We have mixed sideways behavior on Tuesday with like 3 crosses through the same price level. Usually the third cross is to the upside, confirming a bullish trend. I'm advised to be very cautious on Wednesday. We've got the devil card there indicating an intentional fake out or shakeout of something. And based on the next 2 days, it looks like it's probably to the upside. Hard to say. Excuse me. But Thursday we have the unicursal combined with the Ace of Swords. So that probably means that we see a high, or we come back to a high and then decline from that pretty notably with the full card on Friday. So you likely open up a short position. So if we have a fake out to the upside on Wednesday, I would say open up a short position there. If we don't, and it's like to the downside, I would say just wait till Thursday. The resistance level we're looking for will probably be pretty obvious on Thursday what it is. And you'll want to open up a short position there. which you likely could close the very next day for a significant gain. Either that or over like the weekend into Monday or something. That's OKLO if you just joined us. We're going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over Ethereum. I'm going to talk a little bit about the crypto, and somebody was asking about when the next crypto pullback should be. I'd like to take a look at Tesla and take a look at Amazon as well. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh, hey, it was luck. Which will perform? Appreciate the hearts, my friends. Which will perform better through 2025, Ethereum or ETHA or IBIT? And can I guide on Riot remainder of November and December? Looks like IBIT, definitively so. Appreciate the hearts, my friends. And then Riot for the remainder of November. All right, so overall trend from now through the end of the year. An overbought crest that we sell off from. Through multiple supports. And we're lined up for that because we're in overbought territory. So, you know, we're looking for an overbought peak or crest, probably a crest. And for the remainder of November, important resistance that's highlighted. So we're probably at that resistance. It's resistance we failed to break through many times before. So when we're looking at it on the scale of a multi-day scale, that's 1, 2, 3. We're at 4 right here. So this is the resistance probably right around the... That's really the resistance right there. But let's make it kind of a range to be on the safe side. Somewhere in there. All right, so that's going to be highlighted throughout November, and usually on a longer term timeline scale, like a whole month represented by one card. The cruelty card is probably speaking of a resistance that we decline from. Like there should be a notable decline. You don't always decline when you see the cruelty card, but in this case, that's probably the case. Next week, there's support. We find support. So combining that information with what's already taken, we've already seen, chances are there's a decline. Like we're finding support to the downside. And then the following week, we have a sharp decline. Week after that, more decline. How about for December? We rally back to key resistance and then decline from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Is JMIA a good investment? Oh, UPST next week and then JMIA. Wow, soaring right now. Wow. AV, have I been on point with this? Look at this. Look at this. Look, 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 look. So I started putting when I predict these lines. I should probably do that on the last one, but this was predicted on 9/17, right? August 17th, that we would be at $50 in October. And look, look, this was in 9, right? In August. We were over here, guys. You know? All right, so for next week, overall trend direction. I got the Magus card. It looks like there's going to be a pullback offering, like a buy the dip kind of scenario next week. Significant one. It looks like it's probably on Tuesday. If it's not on Tuesday, then it's on Friday. So you might want to do like a partial on Tuesday just to be careful. JMIA, a good investment to add to right now. This looks like it's got lower to go just based on the technicals. This is probably going to go lower before I do the cards. Based on the technicals, it looks like it's probably going to go lower into the end of the year. Yeah. So there's going to be like a sideways fluctuating decline into New Year's, but it offers a significant opportunity to open up like a growth position, buy into it. Like this is an opportunity for a growth stock. And looking at the price, I mean, a lot of people would still consider it speculative because it's below $5, but you could get a lot of growth out of something at that price, you know. And NKE and JD due for the remainder of November. Oh, pretty mixed. So equal amounts of bulls and bear inflow and outflow, and it looks like we're probably based on where we are on the technicals. It's probably we're finding we're looking to find support. We're trying to like back and forth. Have we hit support? Have we not? This type of behavior right here. See this? Equal amounts of bulls and bear inflow and outflow, basically. That's what we should see for the remainder of November for Nike, something along those lines, and then for JD. I think I did that one already, right? If there's any noise, guys, I apologize. They are, they're like, I forget what they call it, but they're like checking all of the bricks on the outside of our building. You have to do it every 4 years in Manhattan. So there's like people on, like those what are those things on like ropes that go up and down the side of the building? It's kind of like a scaffolding, but not. They're like going to be outside my window for a while. So this looks like last time we looked at it, we were expecting something up in this price range here. I wish I put a date on this. I really got to remember to start doing that. The remainder of November. Volatility with a sharp drop that'll stand out in that volatility. All right, guys. Well, I gotta get through Bitcoin, and then I'll come back to you guys' questions. Where's Bitcoin? All right, so definitely missed that second exit, or excuse me, entry. Very, very frustrating. But anybody that thinks like we're just going to go flying to the upside without a pullback, I mean, that's very unrealistic. There's a lot of things saying we've got a high over here. I'm hearing from some of the people in the community as well that we've got other psychics predicting a peak here around the 15th with a sharp drop, maybe a short term drop, but a sharp drop after that, something along those lines. See that? We've got this full card here, right at the end of the month of November. I'm so sorry, guys. Jeez. And then here we have the full card at the high, right? So my sense is that that's probably indicating, that could very well be indicating that the high is here at the end of the month of November for Bitcoin. And by that I'm talking about like we're expecting a high somewhere here around the end of the year, right? Based on the 1 year, looks like that's definitely coming to fruition. But I don't see a lot of bullish behavior in December, right? We also have the appearance of the Knight of Wands here. That's the late December portion. December readings coming out relatively soon, guys. I'm going to do a lot of recording over the next few days. I do it based on astrological signatures, so there's like windows of time where I do all the recording. So there's a bunch of December stuff coming out, and 1 year's all getting recorded over the weekend. Yeah, so based on this, guys, I would say, you know, this isn't necessarily something you want to be chasing into. Um, so, so they're very likely the high is going to be over here on the 14th. We drop, and the drop is going to be opportunity before we revisit a high. I think that's probably what's taking place. All right, let's see what other questions we got here. Oh, looks like we've come back. I wasn't even watching, but we've come back quite a bit here. So, like I said, if we have this decline into a like some sort of low here at the end of the day, there's only a few minutes left. Likely, what happens is we have this that decline continues over the weekend, and then what's up for discussion or up for determination, I should say, is whether or not this move from the bottom of the range to the top of the range happens before or after the bell, the opening bell. And I'm being told to stay in a straddle. I'm being told to stay in a straddle. I checked several options just now. I'm being told to stay in a straddle, so that's how I'll go into the weekend. Balls to the wall. The coolest moments with SO Meta is when you're like your inner strength is like holding you on, holding you on, holding you on, and then all of a sudden, boom! It all came to fruition, like just a little bit later than expected, or something like that. Happens. It happens enough that it's something that can be expected when things go awry. All right, so let's see. Nvidia and FX1. So, guys, we're running out of time here. I may not be able to get to everybody's questions. If that happens and you want to make sure your questions get asked, you can always sign up for the membership on YouTube channel. It's $50 a month. Gets you the star next to your name, which is priority. It gets you priority answers. Shows your support for the channel on YouTube. And when you think about it, you're getting unlimited questions. 5 to 6 days a week for $50. It's like $10 an hour. All right, so Nvidia. Thanks, Hermes. Appreciate the kisses. Oh, right. I don't have the November for Nvidia. We start in December. Where did it go? All right. So this does look like it tops out maybe mid to like end of the second week, beginning of the third week, somewhere around there. Probably tops out with a notable move to the downside into a trough somewhere around the cusp of November, December. I apologize for the photograph quality of this one. Where did it go? Yeah, there's a pretty notable drop there, guys, around the end of the month. Get plus or minus 2 weeks, but that's what it's looking like. The remainder of November. Yeah, this is going to be like back and forth whipsaws or a notable reversal. Yeah, the fortune card in this situation is probably a notable reversal off of a high, off of like a multi-day, or in this case, an all-time high. So be careful of that, guys. And what else? This is what I was talking about, guys. They're right outside of my window right now. Sorry. FX1 do 10 times more. I got an unclear answer for that one about FX1. Apologies. Oh, thank you, Don Trell. Wow, nobody else in the world can do this with this level of accuracy. Much appreciation, Don Trell. Anything in particular that you're referring to? I'm curious. Any specific reading? Tesla top off. When does Tesla top off in November? I believe I just did the Tesla December, which should be helpful. Let me make sure I did. No, I didn't. Not yet. This one's getting done today. Yeah, so we definitely blew right through that target. But this, even so, this was a solid trade. This was a solid trade. Like, you know, it's like a novice trader that would be like, oh man, that's not a solid trade because now look at the price level. Like, you want to get in at a lower price and out at a higher one, or vice versa if you're doing a short. That's a solid trade, right? You can always get back in and do it again. But the best kind of trades, they avoid all this nonsense in between, right? You avoid this. A solid trade, you entered here, you exit here, right? You enter here, you exit here. That's a solid trade. But in any case, do we top off? It looks like multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance at the November high, and considering where we are, it go? What the hell? I literally just saw it. Where did it go? So weird. I want this one on the weeks. There we go. Looks like that's a pretty strong resistance right there. So I'm just gonna move this. Somewhere right around there, right? So I'd say we're pretty darn close. I mean, this is probably it. If we were to continue to go higher, it would likely be into the 14th, but maybe it could because we've got crypto highs over there, right? And that's what I want to see what happens in the S&P 500 on Monday. See if we have higher price levels on Monday, then that's probably an indication that the highs are still ahead of us, like I was saying a little earlier. So I mean, this is probably pretty close to the top. You know, we went a little bit above. Will cost be bullish next week, and what percentage drop are you anticipating on SPY in November? It's really hard to say as far as percentage drop. Really hard to say, especially when I've been like kind of off on my game the last couple of days. If it becomes clear, I'll let you know. What's clear is that it's kind of like temporary, you know. And it looks like the move out of November, out of a low in November, takes us to a high in December of some kind. So it looks like it's bullish partially. Costco, there'll be a crest that we sell off from. Hey, J-Kin. Appreciate you. Thank you. Theta. Hey Hermes, what you doing? He's so funny, you know. He's literally right below the camera. Um, overall, I mean, this looks like pretty much to the downside. These lows at the end of the year, I expect them to be comparable to this, if not, you know, somewhere in this range here. Not the end of the year, the end of the month. Sorry, somewhere within this range here. But like at this point, like, so whether or not I advise, excuse me, if I'm, unless I, what the heck? Unless I specify otherwise, utilize these red ellipses as an entry point, right? Like do a partial entry into a long position here, add to it if we go down into these levels for a multi-day or multi-month swing into the following year. And this is all stuff. If you have access, if you have monthly access on our website, Tarot for Traders, then you can literally right click on one of these things, click on text, and it'll tell you what, if there's something necessary to tell you, like, right? Anybody that's got early access has access to, or excuse me, monthly access has access to the shared link for this live updated trading view chart. But that's what I would look to expect. What goes on in between, it's really still kind of like really back and forth, kind of hazy going on there. But it starts to get a lot clearer towards the end of the month and it moving into next year. It's probably advisable. I don't think I would want to chase the crypto rally at this point. Now, I will point out I didn't expect it to move that high without this entry point. No, that's not true. I did expect it to move that high. I just expected this entry. We missed the entry. It was a little earlier than I expected, and it looks like as far as the sequence of events, if you look, right, a little early. Or I'm a little bit late. I'm a little bit late here too because we're already in this price range. But yeah, I would say it's kind of it's probably going to be kind of price swingy between the 11th and the 14th near the highs. But frankly, I don't think there's really much being left on the table at this point. All of them? Thank you, Dontrell. Appreciate it. Meta rally into next week. Am I still expecting a meta rally into next week? Let's see. What's the overall trend for meta next week? Yeah, so we have more rally next week, but it turns over. It's opportunity to open up a short. I completely agree. Dontrell Adam has been phenomenal. Appreciate it, guys. You know, it really gets me down when I'm off my game. You got to understand, I spent the last 25 years of my life figuring out how to do this. For the first 15, everybody thought I was crazy. I was losing money, I was making money, I was losing more money, I was making money, I was losing even more money, I was making money, you know, but it was like I knew there was something to it. Everybody thought I was crazy, nobody took me seriously. And now we're at a point where like I might have blew it. I didn't want to say anything ahead of time, but I might have blew it. We'll see how it goes next week. But Forbes is actually keeping an eye on our November predictions, so that would be like a life changer if the predictions pan out. I hope I don't choke. But with that said, you know, when I'm off, like I do the predictions so regularly, I forget how it's what I'm doing is supposed to be impossible, and these are really like miracles on a daily basis. So like when I don't do well, I really kind of get beat up about it. It's tough, you know. It's my life's work. It's like, God, what the hell? I don't like to let people down. But anyways, Brenda, your name intrigues me. You should message me on the website. I'm intrigued. And with that said, I'm going to roll, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. The next regularly scheduled live stream will be Sunday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Those are subscriber only, actually, not members only, so subscriber only. Hope to see you there. Much love and appreciation. Have a great weekend, and blessings to all my angel investors. Later. Oh, wait, Ethereum. One more thing. I almost forgot Ethereum. Do I see Ethereum continuing higher the next few days? All right, let's see. It looks like it's topping off at the end of the week, maybe on Thursday, kind of mixed in between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of mixed. Tops off at important technical price level on Thursday with a sharp end of a decline on Friday of next week. That's Ethereum. All right, my friends, have a great weekend. I will see you all next week.